Today we're going to be drafting our top 10 Pokemon that we would want in our trading card set. It is Pokemon draft time here at Next Level TCG, and we are going to each be choosing 10 Pokemon that we would want in the ideal Pokemon TCG set to see which one of us can sell you the most booster packs. Are you ready for this, Nate?
I am. I'm super excited. I put a lot of thought into this list. And then thinking about it even more, I realized our lists are probably pretty similar. So I think this is going to be pretty exactly. So I'm really excited for today to see what your draft list
it's
like,
most likely literally copy and paste for them for exactly. So so this is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing like a fantasy draft style where we're going to decide who gets to go first, and then we're going to rotate in picking Pokemon, right? And as soon as a Pokemon is drafted by a person, it cannot be drafted twice. And at the end of today's video, we're going to ask you guys who has the better TCG set and which one would you be rushing to your store to buy the most. Now, we did do one thing though, right? So there is a Pokemon in the trading card game that holds quite a bit more clout, I would say, than most of the others. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying over there?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
Dunsparce.
right. So there's no Dunsparces. Oh. Yes, Charizard. That's right. So obviously, whoever was going to end up with the number one pick was going to go Charizard. Even if it wasn't our favorite Pokemon or somebody that we would really, really want, just the general appeal to the Pokemon public and casual collectors would make it, honestly, a more powerful set than what the other person can put together just simply by having Charizard. So we are eliminating Charizard from the equation. You can either assume that Charizard is in both of our sets or neither of our sets. It is completely up to you, but he is off the board. You think that's a good decision to take him off the board, Nate?
Yeah, he wasn't... I don't know what you call it, like a free agent or something like that. I'm not super big into sports.
He's a veteran. Right. He was not eligible to be drafted this year. He's on the injured reserve list. So,
yeah, there you go.
All right. So the way that we're going to determine who actually goes first is I'm going to take this Post-it note right here that you can't see because of my green screen, pretty snazzy, and I am going to write a number on it, 1 through 10, and then Nate has to guess if I wrote down an even number or an odd number. If he gets it correct, he gets to go first. What number did I just write down?
I think it's an odd number.
Boom. It's an Ocho. It is an 8.
We can't see it on the green screen.
Judges, that is not. That is an infinity symbol. Oh my gosh.
Infinity. I guess infinity.
Is infinity an even number or an odd number? What do you think?
Ooh, oh man, that's a whole nother episode. I think you're gonna have to dive deep on that one.
We'll have to contact the scientists of the cosmos to figure that out. Okay, yes. So Travis gets to go first. I'm so excited. OMG.
Just get your Dunsparce out of the way so we can get this list on.
And the other thing is too, we're gonna assume that like if somebody picks a final evolutionary form, that all of the Pokemon for that evolutionary form are gone, right? So I can't say Charizard and then Nate turn around and go, oh, I'm having Charmander, a secret rare shiny Charmander.
Oh, dang. That was my first on my list.
Jeez Louise, Travis. Okay. All right. So I actually got the first selection here. So I'm super excited. I was not expecting to go first. So this is really cool of me. I'm taking one of my favorite Pokemon. I'm gonna catch heat right out the gate here for my very first pick. But this Pokemon, I believe, was disrespected tremendously in the Galar region. He was held onto for too long, and I'm actually going to be going for Mewtwo as one of the primary Pokemon in my TCG set. He's a legendary, mostly everybody's favorite legendary. He is the most powerful Pokemon in the entire Pokemon universe, still to this day. I don't care what you say or what anybody says. He's very, very strong. He's had movies about him. He's very recognizable in the Pokemon community, and he's just super, super popular. So one of my pack arts as well is going to be Mewtwo, my number one overall pick, since I can't have Charizard, which now I wish I didn't do the Charizard rule since I won first round.
Awesome. Well, that's a fantastic pick. I will say you did knock one off of my list already. here, but it was not my number one.
Arcanine.
And I might catch some heat from you on this one because it's not Shindle or your favorite. But I am going with maybe the obvious second choice of Umbreon. Yes, I am stealing Umbreon as my first draft pick here. Main reason why Umbreon is a huge fan favorite, pretty much has been a fan favorite since the very beginning. You look back at, a lot of the different Umbreon cards, the more rare ones, right? And those are some of the ones on the top of the list. Obviously, with Evolving Skies, we had the Moonbreon. I'm kind of playing off of the hype we still have around that card and everything like that. So that's why it's my number one, and also is going to be a pack card as well.
I will say, recent history is on your side for this one, considering the prices of the Mewtwo alternate art and the Moonbreon. True. My history, and I think Mewtwo has on my side, but Umbreon has always carried well. Definitely one of the top Pokemon to consider when putting together a TCG set for sure, or putting together a collection. Umbreon, you can never really go wrong there for sure. So good selection. I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
Mark that down. So sad to mark that one off. It was in my.
I like your Mewtwo as well, because I really feel like the the Pokemon Go set was just not.
It needs redemption.
Did not do the justice. For
it needs redemption.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
So I have my whole list written down, but now I'm considering making a change on the fly here, because my second choice is actually still available. Umbreon was not my second choice, but I don't know if I want to go here. So I'm gonna do a little bit of an audible here, and I'm gonna go with my second choice is Rayquaza. So I'm going Rayquaza here for my second choice. Rayquaza has always carried since the introduction. When you think of most popular legendaries, like I said with Mewtwo, the only other one that could potentially even come up, in my opinion, is Rayquaza. Even smaller little promo cards like the holo promos and 3-pack blisters always do well. The promo from Hidden Fates did well. Rayquaza Gold Star is arguably the most expensive Gold Star, even over Charizard. So it's a really big, huge Pokemon, and you can do so much with it. And every time you get a Rayquaza, he is a pack art, he is an anchor, he is a focus. So I went with Mewtwo number one. In my second round, I'm going with Rayquaza here. And yes, it's another pack art. I got Mewtwo and Rayquaza as my pack arts. I'm going with my top four are probably going to be my pack arts, right? So,
yeah, that's kind of what the idea behind mine was as well. And I got to say, you caught me. I was trying to make an Evolving Skies 2.0.
I knew you were.
Rayquaza off my list.
Top five on ASX's list here. Umbreon, Rayquaza, Sylveon, Espeon. Oh.
I mean, you're not too far off. All right. So, yeah, then I would have to go with my third pick here.
So you had Rayquaza number two? Legit?
I did have Rayquaza as number two. I did. Because I was telling you, I was doing a small Evolving Skies 2.0. But for my second Pokemon, I am going to steal Lugia.
That's
off
who
the
I
table.
had at number two, and I jumped over him.
I know that we just had Silver Tempest here, and had some beautiful Lugia cards in there, but I didn't feel like that was enough, right? I want some more Lugia in my life. So I put him here at number two. Would make another pack art. We just had the pack art in Silver Tempest, but would make it even spicier of a pack art this time around. And again, Lugia has been a fan favorite from the start since the Pokemon Silver game. Arguably the more popular of the two, Silver and Gold. Silver was the more popular one. So I'm holding on to that. In the recent, rise in popularity of Lugia as well.
Very good choice. And like I so rudely interrupted you with, Lugia was actually who I had written down second. And I called that last, as I'm looking over my list, I was just like just something was telling me to squeak by with Rayquaza over Lugia, but that's who I originally had written down because arguably Lugia has been the number two for collectors for a long time since its Neo Genesis card. It's been a very, very popular Pokemon. Oftentimes gets shinies, promos, things like that as well, and always carries well. I challenge you before this mass printing era to find a Lugia card that's not like under $5, even when its counterparts are like $2 or 50 cents. So
yeah, no,
good call. So I'm at another crossroads here. For my choices, I really am. This is significantly harder than I thought. Like when I was making my list, I was like, I'm gonna fly right through this thing. But now that I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I don't know which way to go. I don't. But I'm gonna do something that you did, and I'm gonna use recent history, and I'm gonna put that by my side here. And my number 3 pick to be joining Mewtwo and Rayquaza is gonna be Gengar. I'm grabbing Gengar right now. Another Pokemon that has had a lot of cards, oftentimes gets put on pack arts in the front of things. It was on Phantom Forces, one of the best sets from the X and Y era, here for Fusion Strike. And the main reason why I picked it is because it is, basically the chase card for Fusion Strike. I'm not sure if the Espeon is actually still considered number 1 in that set, but at the end of the day, the only reason why Espeon is even contending with Gengar is because of Evolving Skies' weird thing that it has going on. And I'm sure casual collectors probably think that card's from Evolving Skies, and they're just going for it. But Gengar coming in my number 3 slot to add to my list. And it's by far the number 1 fan favorite ghost-type Pokemon in the entire game. There's nothing holds a candle to it in terms of ghost Pokemon. It holds the Halloween vibes. It holds scary vibes. Yeah. Anything that you want to add in that niche, it owns. So Gengar is my 3rd shot.
Yeah, I like that. And of course, you took another one off my list here. I had him a little bit further down my list. But yeah, Gengar was definitely on there. I agree with you. The perfect Halloween Pokemon. He's literally has just about every type of merchandise that like Pikachu and Charizard have as well. Yep. So very, very good choice there. All right, so for my 3rd choice, I'm going to go with one of those Pokemon right behind you there, my Blasty Boy. I'm getting Blastoise. I'm taking him off the table, and he is going to be a pack art as well. I just believe that, and we've talked about it plenty of times here, Blastoise got basically 0 love, right, in the Sword and Shield era. He got a V-Battle deck. He got a VMAX box. We didn't hardly see him in any sets, right? There were no chase cards or anything for Blastoise. You got Pokemon Go. I think I think is the only set that we really saw him in.
The battle box, and then the Radiant, and that's like all.
And the Radiant, right, which was from Pokemon Go. So, he deserves the love, So I had to bring him back in here, Blasty Boy, for number 4 or number 3. As well as my pack art.
Anytime you're putting a Kanto starter on a pack art, it's the way to go. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Blastoise completely shafted in the Generation 8 TCG sets. Needs redemption. Similar to Mewtwo, needs his redemption, and that's a good pick.
Right.
He was on my list. A little bit farther down, like you were saying.
I knew he was.
But the Pokemon that I was waffling on with Gengar is still available here. And I think I'm going to go for it here. I did the same thing. I chose Gengar over this Pokemon when initially on my list this Pokemon was higher. So how many times can you have Mewtwo without having Mew? So I'm picking up Mew as well here for my set to counterpart with Mewtwo because they just go together like freaking peanut butter and jelly.
So good.
Unified Minds was a fantastic set. Oftentimes, when you get something in the form of Mewtwo, you also get the Mew going on inside the set, whether it's 2 promo boxes released side by side, or a special set focusing on Mewtwo and Mew, right? Like Shining Legends with the Shining Mew and the Mewtube, right? They're often paired together, and I'm going to continue that trend here because they just are. They're a pair. So to go to my number 1 overall pick in Mewtwo, I'm putting his counterpart in there with Mew as well. I also think that Mew does really well with the female fan base. I think Mew is one of the most popular Pokemon with female collectors, and I think that's a huge boost when people are going out buying packs. I think a lot of women and girls buy packs that they deserve that Mew chase, and they're going to get it in my set, not yours.
Awesome. Well, I gotta say, this is the first Pokemon that was not on my list.
You didn't have
that
Mew
you chose.
on your list?
Mew, originally, yes, but I did take it out.
I could have had him later?
I did take him out.
That stinks.
You could have. You could have had him out. That could have been your 10th choice.
Draft.
Yeah, you would have got him. But yeah, I agree. Everything you said. Fantastic choice. The Mew and Mewtwo, I love it. We saw that in Unified Minds. It was fantastic. Got some beautiful cards. I would love to see it. I would love to see Tag Team come back. I think that was awesome. And they didn't do it for as long as I think they should have. But yeah, anyways, great choice. All right. So for my fourth and my final pack art as well, I am going with another Eeveelution. My second favorite Eeveelution, Espeon. I just feel like obviously Umbreon and Espeon go together very, very well. We got them at the same time in the same generation. They were introduced to us. So I just feel like those, to me, have always gone, hand in hand together. And it was interesting to see them not in the same set, in the Sword and Shield era with Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. So, I would just love, another Espeon card, throw it in there with Umbreon, put both of them on pack arts. We have a fantastic set.
Espeon was not on my list at all either. So it is funny that we both, with our 4th round picks, went with a Pokemon that wasn't even on the other person's list of a decent sized list. So that is very interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with you. You really were trying to build in Evolving Skies. You were just like, I think I'm going to go Evolving Skies here up against them.
I think I'm just going to rebuild the most, expensive set.
There you go. There you go.
Exactly.
I'm going to make it the most expensive set in my era. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Good choice, though. Good choice. Eeveelutions have proven to be super popular, and very much like Mewtwo and Mew, oftentimes Umbreon is accompanied by Espeon, whether they're in the same set, like Sun and Moon base set or whatever. They often are getting promo boxes at the same time, like the Espeon GX and Umbreon GX back in the Sun and Moon days as well.
Yep.
Often paired together. So good selection, right in hand with my Mewtwo and Mew. So I'm going to throw you a curveball here. Okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball, and you're going to be a little bit surprised here, but I'm choosing a Pokemon that's not going to be his final evolution, but is definitely going to be receiving the ultra rare treatment on my end, getting everything from the highest alternate art to the lowest of whatever else is going on there. That's right, I'm going with the Pokemon mascot Pikachu. I'm throwing Pikachu in my set here, but yes, Pikachu is in like every single set. I think he was in at least half the sets as a common card, if not more than half the sets in the Sword and Shield era.
Yeah.
But only one set had him as the chase, and he is going to be one of the chases of my set as well. I'm giving him top rarity, top billing. May even throw him on a pack art instead of Mew, getting that Pikachu pack art going. I mean, look at the Rainbow Chonkachu, still carrying great value. Anytime that there's a good Pikachu card, it carries well. Look at Red's Pikachu from Cosmic Eclipse. Look at the promo Pikachu with him, the Galar one where he's like in the painted box, the white and colorful box. That card's going up in price. Yeah. The gold card in the Celebrations UPC. Like, there's so many situations of Pikachu getting big banger cards and carrying tremendous value. Pikachu Gold Star, another one, carries great value. So I'm picking him up here on my list, and I'm giving him a burp. I'm giving him one of the top billings in my set as well. The new rarity. I just think it carries super well when you put Pikachu in that high tier of a set. Not common, but that high tier of a set.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. And that curveball you tried to throw was a fastball right down the pipe, man. Because I also had Pikachu on my list. I was thinking the same thing. Ultra rares, everything. Pikachu, because obviously, Pikachu is a huge fan favorite for the last 25, 26 years. I was also thinking, with Ash, exiting the scene, Pikachu, people are going to have that nostalgia for Pikachu. So I feel like that's going to be probably one of the biggest cards in your set for sure.
Absolutely. All right, man.
All right. So for my fifth choice here, I'm going a little bit of a different route, and I'm going with Zekrom. Kind of goes well with your Pikachu that you just chose, actually. But I'm going with Zekrom. Zekrom got, again, like 0 love in the Sword and Shield era. We saw him a couple times on just some rares, some rare hollows, things like that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I cannot think of a Zekrom V.
There was not.
Definitely not a Zekrom V Max. No Zekrom V Star. No full art Zekroms. Nothing big and shiny, right? Of Zekrom cards. So I think it's time to bring Zekrom back. We got his counterpart Reshiram here, just in Silver Tempest with the Reshiram V, but nothing special there. So I feel like it's time to give Zekrom some love. Bring him back in. The last real nice Zekrom card we had was the tag team Pikachu and Zekrom cards, whole different arts and stuff for that card. So I would just love to bring Zekrom back. I think he's a really awesome looking Pokemon. Real, can be like one of those real like kind of mean looking Pokemon as well. And I can just imagine some like absolutely beautiful like alternate artworks for Zekrom, just like lightning all around him or something like that. Something super cool. I don't know. But yeah, Zekrom, number 5.
I'm with you, man. I think Zekrom is super cool, but my only concern is I don't know if there's enough fanfare around Zekrom to make people rush out to the store to buy some packs and a chase for it.
Well, that's why he wasn't my number 1.
Good point. But I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to be like, okay, now that I got my big ones, let me go ahead, and give Bellsprout some love here. No, I'm here to
take Bellsprout off my list.
I'm putting you down, bro. I'm twisting the neck. Another Pokemon, another Pokemon that did not make an appearance on my list, Zekrom. So your last 2 choices did not even show up on my list whatsoever. Now I'm gonna do this, right. So I'm gonna select a Pokemon that I did not have on my list at all. As we're talking and as we're spitballing back and forth, things are running through the brain, right? So I'm gonna try to neuter your set a little bit here. I think you missed a major opportunity with this next one here, and I'm going very similar that I just did with Pikachu, but I'm taking Eevee this time. So I'm going Eevee. You got Espeon and the Umbreon over there, but I'm going to give Eevee the top billing spot here. I think it's time for Eevee to stop just being a regular common card while the other Eeveelutions get the alternate art love, get the love of the rainbows and the full arts and all that time. It is time for Eevee to join Pikachu in that spotlight and get another top rarity type card, the alternate art, the rainbow, the full art, something like that, giving me arguably the 2 most popular Pokemon, especially amongst children, with Pikachu and Eevee now pumping it out right there. Not on my list. Didn't even think about Eevee to go with here. But the more I started thinking about your Eevee Evolving Skies remake, the more I'm going here with thinking, if he put Eevee in there with his Umbreon and his Espeon, that would have been a fantastic choice. And I thought you were going to go that route. I thought you were going to go Umbreon, Espeon, and then give yourself an Eevee too with a big chase card and Eevee. So I had to snatch that away from you.
But I thought you said we couldn't do that, though, because you told me I couldn't take the shiny Charmander.
Okay. Evolution. All right. Let's see. Is Eevee? See,
I'll give you the Eevee. Okay. I'll give you the Eevee, but it's got to be the derpy Eevee. You get the derpy Eevee.
But see, when you think a lot of times, when you're thinking of evolutionary Pokemon, you're right. If we're going on technicalities, you are absolutely correct. I broke the rules because that's what I fucking do. Okay, I break the rules. I have my whole life here. Okay. But very rarely do you think of Eevee as a pre-evolutionary Pokemon, right? It's kind of like Pikachu, right? You don't really think of Pikachu as the first evolution of Raichu. You're like, no, it's Pikachu. It's the same thing with Eevee. You're not like, oh my god, it's the first evolutionary form of 8 different Pokemon. No, it's Eevee.
Yeah.
I'll take it back.
Definitely, they feel
if we're going.
No, you can have it. You can have it. You can have your derpy Eevee.
Now
like
people are going to be talking shit in the comment section. They go, Travis doesn't even follow his own dang rules. And you're right. I don't follow my own rules. I just made those rules so I can get an advantage over Nate and then break them mid draft.
I like it though. I like it. Eevee's a good one. I agree with you though. Seeing a nice Eevee chase I think would be cool. Kind of got a taste of that. With the Pikachu chases. Alolan Vulpix kind of got, a little spotlight there in Silver Tempest as well. So yeah, I like that. I like given
to put it in perspective Pokemon, too.
It's a nice card.
If we were following the technicality of the rule, you also couldn't have Espeon or Sylveon or any of the other Eeveelutions because they're all part of one line. So we'll skip over that for Eevee.
But it branches. It's tough. It's
water under the bridge.
Down in the comments. Yeah, we'll see down in the comments. They'll let us know.
You know they roll with you every single time. They're like, that Nate guy is just so innocent. He gets my vote. Travis is a donkey's
I'll take it. Hey, I'll take it. I ain't gonna brush it off. All right. So you stole Eevee off the table. That's fine. All right. So I am going to, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our sixth.
Your sixth.
Or my sixth. I am going to go with Alakazam. And simply because, again, my argument is always, it seems like it's always this. They just didn't get enough love, I feel like, in the Sword and Shield era. Now, with Alakazam, there was that whole weird lawsuit thing going on with, Kadabra, and that's why we couldn't have the full line. So once we finally got Vs, we got a V full art of Alakazam, and then we got an Alakazam V box where we got the Black Star promo, just a regular V. And the full art I thought was absolutely awesome looking, totally encapsulated the mood I feel like Alakazam has. Beautiful card. And I expected to see more of Alakazam because the whole lawsuit thing got resolved. Everything's good to go. They can make the full, Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam line now again. And we just didn't see anything else with Alakazam. So I feel like this would be a great opportunity, to really bring him back, bring back the whole line, get Kadabra in there again, and, make some really nice ultra rare cards for Alakazam that we just haven't seen for a while.
I definitely, it makes you think, your point makes you think how far this stuff is thought of in advance, because the Kadabra stuff was cleared up literally earlier this year. And if they had already printed all of the Sword and Shield era sets and they were already into the Scarlet and Violet era sets, obviously they wouldn't be able to put a Kadabra in there to finish up the full line. So I do think that eventually when we do see the Abra and Alakazam line back in, we will get that Kadabra at some point during Scarlet and Violet. Or maybe Pokemon is so salty about everything, they're just like, screw it, I don't ever want to print one ever again. So
maybe.
Okay. Powering forward here, we got to pick up the pace. We are dragging our booties. Booties on the floor like little pugs. All right, so to avoid having a complete Kanto set, because right now all I have is Rayquaza sticking out of as a non-Kanto Pokemon, I'm going to go with a fan favorite Pokemon that a lot of people really enjoy and was actually my favorite Pokemon before it switched over to Chandelure, and I'm going with Lucario. I'm putting Lucario in here.
That's a good one.
And it's a later, Pokemon, not Kanto. As I say later, it was still a long time ago. Not a Kantoese Pokemon, and Lucario has always been a huge fan favorite ever since its release. And people hunt these cards, and proof of it is Crown Zenith is getting the Lucario's going inside the promo box. He's got some beautiful artworks. It's just Lucario all day. Oftentimes a promo box. That's my boy. That's my boy. I mean, you can't say nothing bad about Lucario, man.
Yeah, no, I like that pick, and I got to tell you, I didn't have him on my list, and I'm kind of shocked myself.
You spaced on that.
I did not think of Lucario. I 100% did. Yeah, he is not on my list, but that's fantastic. I agree with you. I would love to see some more cards that we could pull.
Yeah.
From Lucario, like you just mentioned, we're getting those promos. That promo was so awesome. Good. I would say probably the best ETB promo we had in the whole Sword and Shield era.
I agree.
So I like that. Fantastic. Like you said, you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with Lucario.
Take that. Take that.
All right. So I am going to go with my next one here, and this one is kind of different from the rest of my choices, I feel like, and I am going to go with Garchomp as my next one here. And I always love the Garchomp cards that we've gotten here in the Sword and Shield era. Most of the time have, with the exception, I think, of one Garchomp V, just regular V, have featured Cynthia on there. And I just love when they pair those two together, on cards. And, my set, I would definitely do some sort of trainer gallery type of thing as well, because those cards just do, amazing things for sets, right? In terms of the sellability of it. So yeah, I would bring Garchomp back, give him a little bit more of a focus, give him some nice ultra rare cards, nice alt art, throw Cynthia on a card there with them. And I think, you got a nice chase there.
I like it. Garchomp, super dope. Can't complain. Paired with Cynthia, it's a win-win situation for sure. All right, so moving forward, gosh, we're on what? This is number 8? Are we on number 8 now? It's hard to keep track now that, our lists have been all jacked up.
This will be
my 8th slot. I gotta avoid going Kanto deep on everything here. Another Pokemon that has basically completely been forgotten about in the Sword and Shield era to the point to where it wasn't even in the Galar games, and that's Greninja. I'm going with Greninja here. My number 8 selection, voted the 2020 most popular Pokemon in the entire world. Not sure where it lands now, but I feel like they a lot of times drop the ball on things like that. Like Greninja had a lot of steam and power going in. Made an appearance in Detective Pikachu movie. Was really, really good. Yeah. Beautiful Pokemon. Ash's Greninja is a fan favorite as well. So pairing him up with some Lucario with some Generation 6 action going on. Greninja coming in as one of my fan favorite choices to getting some love here, and that was ignored for Generation 8.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like that choice. I did not put him on my list. I had a very good feeling that he would be on your list, and I did not add him, but I agree with you. Fan favorite Pokemon. I was just reading too, and I think they did another poll in summer of 2022, so this year. And I'm pretty sure that Greninja actually still topped the list as the most popular Pokemon. Surprising. Yeah, which was actually surprising to me.
I know that it's heavily, the voters are very heavily Japanese voters. I do know that.
Okay, that can make some more sense then. But yeah, to me, just kind of after reading it was a little bit surprising because we really, at least in the TCG side of things, have really not seen Greninja for a while. Sun and Moon era we did.
He had a V and then the Radiant, and that was it.
Yeah, beautiful Radiant card, but probably one of the most beautiful. But awesome choice. I like that choice for sure. All right, so for my next choice, I am going with another Eeveelution. I'm going with Sylveon this time around. Again, Sylveon is one of the top Eeveelutions in terms of prices on cards and things in the second market. Eeveelution. Sylveon, is arguably one of the, arguably the Eeveelution that is, more geared towards, the female side of things as well, with its bow and ribbons and everything like that as well. So I wanted to add something in there that, would give, girls something to chase as well in the set. Not that they couldn't like any other Pokemon, but just kind of assuming that would be maybe in their top 2 or 3.
It's 2022. You cannot assume nowadays.
You're right.
Insulting.
You're right.
That word in itself is insulting, dude.
You just can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with any Eeveelutions. I told you right out the bat, I'm doing Eeveelution or Evolving Skies 2.0 over here.
You literally are. You literally are.
I literally am.
You're replacing some of your secondary mons, but you basically have an Evolving Skies going on. Where you just replaced, you still have 2 more selections, so you could bring these up, but you basically have just replaced Gyarados with Alakazam and Dragonite with Garchomp at this point. Other than that, you have Evolving Skies 2.0 and Rayquaza with Lugia, so you have Evolving Skies.
Is that wrong for any of you out there? Are any of you complaining?
It's not wrong for someone of your creative abilities.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you to that. All right, moving on down the pipeline here. My 9th selection, I'm sticking with a recent history. I'm going back to recent history here. Something that was very surprising to a lot of people. Nobody really expected this, but the most expensive card in Chilling Reign, I'm going with Blaziken. I'm bringing Blaziken in, another fan favorite starter. That surprised a lot of people coming out on top of the entire Chilling Reign set as the most expensive card. And it's a fire starter. It's got some good opportunities for good artwork. Maybe if I'm putting tag teams in, would look awesome right next to Lucario and Greninja itself. So Blaziken coming into my 9th selection.
Awesome. Yeah, I like it. The kickin' chicken.
That's right.
I love it. Yeah, I was very surprised, when I saw that card come out, and it's still on top of Chilling Reign. definitely had a different artwork style, more of like a comic book artwork for that set. And I think, that really did set it apart from the other alternate arts in the set. So I like it. That was really the love that Blaziken got. I think he had, obviously he had like the regular V in that set. I don't know if he got any other V cards or anything like that throughout the era. I think that was
literally
was
just
set.
Trainer Gallery. Yeah. Just
in the trainer gallery, right?
Yep.
You're right. So yeah, I love that choice. All right, so my next choice here, and I'm surprised actually. I know why after hearing your list now why you didn't choose this Pokemon. But it's the other one that's right over your shoulder, Venusaur.
It was gonna be my last choice, man.
Oh, okay, I stole it from you then. Venusaur obviously. Again, same argument as Blastoise. Zero love. Had the V Battle deck. Had the V Max box. And then we did have one pullable card in Champion's Path, I think it was.
Yep.
For Venusaur V. And then that was it. Just nothing after that. The Radiant in Pokemon Go, the Hollow in Pokemon Go. I want to see a good Venusaur card. Venusaur, Bulbasaur, was my starter back in the day. So I've always had kind of that, place in my heart for Venusaur, and just to, not really see him get any love for a very long time. I'd say probably since there's some decent cards in the Sun and Moon era with the tag teams, but it's just I just feel like we need a good just Venusaur only card, right? And would just love to
really Eeveelutions was the last time there were some good Venusaur cards, the Mega Venusaurs.
Yeah, exactly. So would just love to bring that back, and I think putting Blastoise and Venusaur in the same set.
Yep.
Without Charizard, kind of brings you that that Kanto starter vibe. I think the last time they did that was like X and Y base, I think, is when they had Blastoise Venusaur. So it'd be nice to bring
because
that
then
back.
They gave Charizard his own set in Flash Fire right after that.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Great selection. It was actually going to be my last choice because I was going to use it as kind of an attempt to neuter you as well, because you're right, Blastoise paired with Venusaur makes the set so much better than just having Blastoise in it.
Yeah,
1,000%. And it was gonna be I almost took it over Blaziken. I was really close, but I was like, I thought you were gonna ignore it. I thought you were gonna leave it on the table. So yeah, I hate you. I hate your face.
Hey, I gotta make the pair. You got the Mew and the Mewtwo.
It's true.
I mean, that's a solid pair right there. I mean, really I do got the Umbreon and the Espeon, but Blastoise, Venusaur. That's my pair of the set.
I have so many options here that I still have left on my list.
This last one is tough.
We have between the two of us, we have 6 Pokemon selected that were not on my list, which is insane. I was not expecting this many Pokemon to go through not being on a list. I'm staring at a crap ton of opportunity here, and one of them is actually quite high on my list, but I don't know if I want it because it's been almost like a mid-tier. Oh Lord, man, you know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity. I'm gonna take this opportunity to do what I do best, and that is disappoint people. No, I'm just kidding. And that's just to go with the fan favorite. My personal favorite. I'm going to go Chandelure. Yeah. He was not written on my list at all. But believe it or not, Chandelure actually has a pretty decent following. It's hard to explain. I don't know why. But it's almost considered like the biggest fan favorite Pokemon from Generation 5. It is up there in terms of popularity. And every time there is a Chandelure card, it always gets like the ultra rare treatment from Pokemon. Pokemon themselves likes Chandelure, and Chandelure actually has over a card that's over $100. That's like not a Venti Watsy or an alternate art with the secret rare shiny that came out during the black and white era. So one of the more expensive cards for black and white era. So I'm gonna take a little pot shot, and I'm gonna go Chandelure here. I did not have Chandelure on my list, but you know what? It's time. It's time. Yeah. Chandelure, my dog, needs some love.
Yeah, you're right. With Chandelure, anytime that he's in the set, it's like he gets the full love. Yeah. With all the ultra rares and everything. It was just Fusion Strike, I think, right? Was the last set with all the ultra rares and everything. Awesome, and those cards look awesome too. I agree with you. Like, when I first learned about Chandelure, it was like one of those like, oh, it's just like it's a chandelier Pokemon. Like, it's whatever.
It's an ice cream. It's a chandelier. It's a set of right? keys.
Exactly. But then you learn his typing, like the fire ghost type. That's super cool. That's super cool typing. His shiny is fantastic as well. That's awesome. I figured Chandelier would hit your list at some point here.
I knew I could get him in the last round unless you were just trying to be an a-hole.
I almost made him my first round just to end.
First round pick, Chandelure.
Chandelure.
Hate this game.
Awesome. Well, I think you're going to be surprised of the Pokemon that I don't mention for my last choice.
You're not going Arcanine. You're not.
So I'm not. I'm sorry for all the Arcanine fans out there. I know.
Disappointment.
I always talk about our boy getting love. But I'm not putting him in my set here.
You can't even do it.
It was hard, honestly. It was hard not to. But my last one that I'm going to go here with is the god of all Pokemon himself, Arceus. I really loved the Arceus cards that we got in Brilliant Stars, and I really think that we could stand to see some more of Arceus. The creator of all Pokemon. I think should get a little bit more love than he's gotten. I can see why he's, legendary, super powerful, everything like that. You can't always have a, super powerful Arceus card, and the cards in the TCG always tend to be some pretty powerful cards that get some good play in that as well. But just seeing like that Arceus alternate art, and then the alternate art V, and then we kind of technically got another alternate art in that Arceus figure collection box that we got as well.
Yep.
Those artworks to me were just, some of the, best alternate artworks. I really loved them. And I feel like you can't go wrong with Arceus.
It's a good choice.
Like, who doesn't like Arceus, right?
It's a good choice. It really is. The hard part I have doing with Arceus is just like you're saying, it's really hard to have an Arceus inside of a set where Arceus is not one of the focuses of the set because he's such a powerful Pokemon in real life. Pokemon are not real. The hell am I talking about?
I believed it.
Right? You were like, yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
About to go catch one tomorrow.
Over here in Indiana.
That's where Arceus is from.
Said no one ever. Okay, so yeah, guys, that's our list here. I'm going to give you, before we review our lists for people to make their selections, I'm going to give you the Pokemon that remained on my list that were not selected, and then I would like yours as well, because we went a total of 7 Pokemon not on my list. So Pokemon that I thought about drafting and ended up not drafting was Dragonite, and I had Dragonite fairly high on my list, and he was the one that I was talking about at the end there. Gyarados I also had fairly high, oftentimes pack art, oftentimes focus of a set. Tyranitar, most expensive card in Battle Styles. Again, kind of surprising. I mean, it was a big Urshifu set, but Tyranitar came out on top. Another, recent history, Giratina. After seeing what Giratina has done with Lost Origins and how much that card has carried, still being worth more than the Lugia at this point, really had me considering Giratina. Lugia's counterpart, Ho-Oh. I had Ho-Oh down on my list as well. Another legendary bird. Obviously number 2 to Lugia, so I wasn't sure if I was going to put him on there. Then Machamp was the last one on my list after watching him carry Astral Radiance to its F-tier rating. But again, surprising people by being the number 1 most expensive card in the set, I would say, as the Machamp. But he came in at number 20 for me, another one of my former favorite Pokemon from back in the day. So that's who I had on my list that was left over. Who did you have?
Yeah, I had 6 left over, so 1 less than you. And surprisingly, I got a lot of the top of my list.
So did I.
I was not thinking I was going to get that. So basically mine that I still have open are 12, 13, 15, 17, 18, and 19 here. So at 12, I had Suicune. I was going to just put him in just by himself. Screams Evolving Skies yet again. Suicune, out of the 3, legendary beasts there, he's definitely, I would say, the most popular. I wanted to put him in there. I also had Ho-Oh, but did not decide that I needed him in this list very pairing. Much for the same reasons you had there. He's second clearly to Lugia. He very much was second to Lugia in Silver Tempest as well. I mean, Ho-Oh didn't even, get ultra rares or anything rainbow. Like that. Got a full art. Yeah, exactly. So, I ended up not going with him. I also had Darkrai on my list as well. Another one of those. Yeah, another one of those that's, kind of definitely lands on the spooky Pokemon side of things.
Yeah, kind of Giratina-esque.
Giratina-esque, very much so. And, I think, it's not the most popular Pokemon. You don't hear, people talk about Darkrai all the time. But I would say he's definitely up there, as one of the more, he's on the better half of the popular Pokemon list, for sure.
Yeah.
I also had Gyarados as well. Because, again, we got him in Evolving Skies, my Evolving Skies 2.0, but, I'm sure just like you said, he just didn't get the love I think that he could have gotten had he been in a different set. Much like Dragonite from Evolving Skies as well. I also had Tyranitar on my list, because he topped the list of battle styles, with that Sleepy T-Tar. Just a big fan favorite. Tyranitar has been for a very long time as well. And then my last one, I had to sneak in one more Eeveelution there. And my very first favorite Eeveelution before Umbreon came out, I had Jolteon.
I knew it.
Yep, Jolteon on the list as well. Just love that spiky dude. He's awesome.
A couple Pokemon that we both missed that I think back on now that I think should have been on our lists. Snorlax. I think Snorlax has a huge following.
Yeah, he was in my mind as I was thinking of this list for sure.
And then Johto version Typhlosion. I know a lot of people are looking for Johto version Typhlosion. They've wanted Typhlosion to get some luck for a long time, and we're not satisfied with the Hisuian Typhlosions that we got. So, kind of similar to you and Arcanine. So I think those are two Pokemon that could have carried well. So let's go ahead and review our list here real quick, and then you guys got to vote down in the comment section on who you think had the better set. So my number one overall selection was Mewtwo, followed by Rayquaza, Gengar, Mew, Pikachu, Lucario, Eevee, Greninja, and Blaziken to round out my Pokemon TCG set. Chandelure. I forgot about Chandelure too, because he was technically not on my list, but then I had to write him down. So Chandelure finishing out my set. So yeah, guys, a pretty decent, solid set right there, if I do say so myself. A lot of powerhouses.
Who are your pack arts again, too?
My pack arts are Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Gengar, and Pikachu. Those are my four pack arts, because Pikachu's getting the full love across the board. Rainbow, Alt Art, whole nine. So Mewtwo, Rayquaza, Gengar, Pikachu are my four pack arts, and I don't think you're touching this set, bro.
I don't know. I mean, both of our sets. It's going to be interesting to see down in the comments. But for my set here, leading off the list, I have Umbreon here. And then my first four here are my pack arts as well. So I have Umbreon, Lugia, Blastoise, and Espeon as my pack arts in my top four. Then I have Zekrom, then Alakazam, Sylveon, Garchomp, Arceus, and Venusaur, rounding out my 10.
I think you definitely have the Eeveelution bug. Everyone who is a big fan of Evolving Skies would definitely enjoy your set. I think the Eeveelutions are going to help carry your set for sure. On top of the Kanto starters, I think those were your biggest pickups. I would say that your set focuses around the Eeveelutions and the two Kanto starters, and then you have really good backup support monsters with Zekrom, Alakazam, Garchomp, and Lugia, of course. So, yeah, man, pretty decent set. I
think I would buy both of these sets, to be honest.
Oh, dude, they would both be massive sets. It would be very interesting to see if the Evolving Skies type stuff really helped, or if it would just be like, oh my God, Shining Fates, like Hidden Fates. Like that would be something to be concerned about. And I would have caught a crap ton of flack for being way too Kanto heavy until the latter end of my draft. We're picking up Greninja, Blaziken, Chandelure, and Lucario. So that really helped me balance my set out. Otherwise, I would have had Evolutions 2.0 going on mine. So, yeah, guys, no Charizard, no action there. Let us know what you guys think. What set would you rather get that master set? What set would have the more expensive card? And what do you think about us leaving Charizard off the list? Let us know down in the comment section, guys. We try to reply to everybody. Here at Next Level TCG, we post Pokemon TCG-related content at least 3, 4, 5 times per week here on the channel. So if you're into that sort of a thing, make sure you drop a sub and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future conversations or videos. And if you enjoyed today's talk, hit that like button as well. Nate, send us home.
Yeah, don't forget to vote down in the comments for my set.
I just want to say that you ended like every talk for a long time about Arcanine, show Arcanine some love, and then you have an opportunity to show Arcanine some love, and you don't. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Well,
ashamed. All right, guys, remember, if you want to level up, you got to be kind and be yourself.